All right, we do have an announcement before we get Assemblywoman Tenney on. Christine has an announcement to make, which is going to be somewhat bittersweet. It'll be positive, but
I think this is your announcement to make because I don't really know what I'm going to say. So.
All right, so here is the
Just
deal.
throw
As we
it
know,
to
Christine is leaving next Friday. Her last day on the radio is next Friday. She's moving to that third world country known as MISSISSIPPI. I had an extra P there. Sorry. I'm getting nervous over it. So the fact is that because she is such a difficult replacement,
I thought you said I was a difficult person.
a difficult replacement, we have been able to arrange that for a limited period, Christine is going to stay with us until we're able to replace her. She'll be doing it from Mississippi in the same way that I broadcast from Orlando. With technology today, you can do anything. Unfortunately, the company that you're ultimately working for contractually will not allow you to do it permanently, although we have really tried for that. But it'll give you the opportunity to be with us for a few weeks, a few months longer, maybe just a month, but maybe the rest of the summer. We'll see how what we're able to pull off here. But you're not rid of us just yet, Christine Bellino.
You're not rid of me just
Try
yet.
as you might.
Yeah. The beauty is I can shut her mic off and she won't even know it. Anyway, that's the news, and we're quite excited.
And we're going to test it out because we don't know how well it's going to work.
It could go last a week, folks.
Right.
But clearly they hated it when I did it in Orlando. But let's see what we can pull off here. All right, the debate the other day. We had a debate between the three candidates for Congress: Assemblywoman Tenney, Phillips, and Wells. Wells really went after Assemblywoman Tenney on the issue of missing the votes and not showing up for work. That's the big. Everybody had their lines they were running with. Assemblywoman Tenney was charging that he is a Cuomo donator, and back and forth. But Assemblywoman Tenney really doubled down on the issue on a couple of times. Previously on the radio here on an interview that was conducted on which date?
I believe it was Friday
last week. And then during the debate, that while she was missing those, she was traveling back and forth to and from Albany to deal with her mother who was dying. And she was very adamant about that. We did a little investigating, and yesterday revealed that maybe that story just doesn't work out. And the Assemblywoman is on the line right now with us. Good morning, Claudia.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on. So you know that what we came up with yesterday, that media reports and pictures, audio, it all puts you in Binghamton on that date, June 18th.
Yeah, I don't know what I heard that I don't know what you put out there. I know you called me a liar and a bunch of other things, which is ridiculous.
That is not true. That's not true. I never did that.
I have a 97% attendance record. I was running for Congress in 2014, but the main reason that I missed votes was because of my mother. And if you look, I'd get to Albany on June 18th, but I was with her on the evening of June 18th. And if you look at June 19th, which is really the last day of session, you will see that I voted and all my committee meetings and put my votes in, as many as I could, before I left. I think my last vote was at 1:16 in the afternoon on June 19th.
Okay.
I went back home and I had to deal with her. Remember, the primary in 2014 was on June 24th, just 5 days later. So I was sitting with my mother in her house.
Here, I want to play
watching oppressive ads. Yeah, did I go to some campaign events? Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, look, the worst record in this U.S. Congress in 2014 was Richard Hanna while he was running against me in the primary in 2014.
Okay.
He missed more votes than anyone else.
Okay.
My votes missed were not because of that. Apparently I was in some kind of a press conference on the 18th, but
and there was a radio interview.
I have a 97% attendance record. It's just a fallacy and a false argument to try to say that I don't show up to vote. You know, it's all. People should know that I've introduced legislation. I spent a 12-hour day in Albany. I'll probably do a 12 to 15-hour day today and another one tomorrow. We did 700 votes, usually 800, 700. Almost two-thirds or three-quarters of the votes we take in Albany are in the month of June.
I'm not questioning. I want you to.
I mean, Bill, honestly.
Listen, I'm not.
To say we weren't in session in the morning of June 18th and probably didn't start until noon.
But
to say that I was on a radio show at 10 o'clock in the morning and I wasn't there.
Well, then there was a press conference after that. Let me play some audio for you. I want you to. There are two couple different clips that Jeff has pulled. I want you to listen to this audio. Here we go.
In June 17th, 18th, and 19th, you will look. Steve Wells will contend I was campaigning. The truth is, my mother was collapsing all 3 of those days from her heart issue. She had a problem with her Coumadin levels, and I literally was driving back and forth to Albany to help her because I was the only person taking care of her. She lived across the street from me. She eventually died. She collapsed of heart failure. I was in Albany. I drove home to care for her, back and forth.
Okay, and then how many clips do you have, by the way?
I do have 3. The second one is rather long.
Okay, the second clip, Assemblywoman, just bear with us because we want to go through the audio of what was said, and then I want to talk to you about that. Go ahead.
In 2014, we did about 11 or 1,200 bills. We did 500 in the last 3 days of session. Unfortunately for me, Bill, I'm the primary care provider for my mother in 2014. I was also running for Congress. Interestingly, I did not miss any time for running for Congress during that week.
Yeah.
What I was doing was driving back and forth to take care of my mother, and we voted on 500 bills in 4 days in the state assembly. And I drove back and forth to Albany at my own expense to make sure I could get in as many votes as I possibly could while my mother was in the emergency room, while my mother was suffering from a serious atrial fibrillation where she was collapsing. She could not stand up, and I'm the only person that can care for her.
And
there's nobody else.
Right.
I'm the only one that lives at home.
And that was
so I went back, and we stayed through the night from June 18th. I remember the day as well. That's a memorable day for me. We stayed through the night. We came back. We finished at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I voted. I was there, if you noticed. I was there. I went back on the 18th. I voted in all my committee meetings. I voted on as many bills as I could before I had to leave and go back to her. And then that's what it was. It's June 17th, 18th, and 19th. I have the records. You can see how many bills we passed.
What
those
year?
Days.
Of that? Is that 2014?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then the final clip is just a short one, but this is from the debate just on this past Monday. Listen to this. 45-second rebuttal, Stephen Wells.
Well, with all due respect, on that day on June 18th where she claimed she was taking care of her mom, which anybody would understand, my mom's sick with cancer. She was actually down holding press conferences in Binghamton.
Not.
2 of them.
Was not.
She was in the Bob Joseph show in the studio that day when she missed 82 votes.
No, I was not.
Okay, well.
Okay, Assemblywoman has disconnected. Did I hit the wrong button, Andrew? Can you try getting her for me? What we have here is on June 18th, she was on a town square station, which was our station. Speaking is the Bob Joseph radio show. I believe that was a 10 a.m. interview. And then later in the day, that's WNBF. And then later, she was on at a press conference, and that was covered on WBNG television, all on June 18th. She doubled down on that date. I'm not here saying that she doesn't vote, that she doesn't work. Those votes, in most cases, that she said were made up on a paper ballot. The question that we have, though, is when you're using in the debate as your defense that you're there tending to your mother, and you really at one point questioned Wells and said, what kind of a man would question a daughter taking care of her mother? That's a pretty big accusation to make towards Stephen Wells. I don't really know the guy, but that's a tough thing to kind of. So obviously, we're going to go back and look at the dates. And when you go back, June 18th, it's not a. I wonder if these are facts. Andrew, have you gotten anywhere?
2 rings right to voicemail.
All right. We'll break and we'll come back. It's 7:51 at WIBX.